Testing, testing. Is this working? Alright, looks like it's working. See if it actually... Alright. Let's see here. Testing, testing. Okay, so yeah, ran into some technical problems there. My computer just straight up crashed and restarted, so yeah, I will see what I can do about...
It is absolutely drugs. Dare to resist drugs and eat the drug pie. You know what?
And let's fast forward a little bit. We were in the closet.
Just
mentioned
trolling, trolling, trolling. You tell Gamzee, but no, seriously, trolling. Sure, you can't. You don't even trolling. Terminally capricious.
Right,
my boy Carcat,
T-Dog. Who's
T-Quiz. That nasty cerulean bitch what's always mad as hell.
T-Dog. Guessing T-Dog would be Tavros. But anyway, so back on track now.
Terminally capricious. Terminally capricious. We'll all climb up to the clouds together. You don't know who some of these people are, but that's okay. You're confident that they'd all make amazing friends, and you can't wait to climb up into the sky with them. What'll you do once you get up there? Terminally capricious. We ride the dark carnival all the way to paradise, my brother. The dark carnival. That sounds familiar, somehow. You feel like you've heard of it before.
Yeah, one of the trolls from Hive Swap, our friend Sim, was all about the dark carnival. Another purple blood, blanking on her name. Oh, what the hell was her name? Ooh, she's the one that takes it to Clown Church. Chahut. Cha, then Hut, whatever. I forget her last name, whatever.
Terminally capricious. Oh, I should hope so, motherfucker. Terminally capricious. Anybody what's got any kind of head for religious dogma at all's heard of this shit. Terminally capricious. I knew you were a real one. Oh yeah, for sure. You are the realiest. But like, imagine you weren't as real as you could be. What would you tell some dumb asshole who had no idea what Gamzee was talking about? Terminally capricious. The dark carnival's where the path leads to my brother.
Is this supposed to be a comma there? Leads to my brother? Leads to comma my brother, or leads to my brother?
Terminally capricious.
Whatever.
Back in the old days the righteous got their blood poured out when their time came. Terminally capricious. All that PUPRLE painting the ringmaster's circle. Terminally capricious. But nowadays it's more of like a metaphor and shit. Terminally capricious. When a motherfucker dies his soul is all ruptured up from his corpse meat, right? Terminally capricious, and that soul's got to all up and go somewhere, don't it? Terminally capricious. It's not about to just float around untethered. Terminally capricious, so it rides on up to the carnival, where it gets all right and properly judged.
I think you see the
terminally capricious
in,
to see whether it's been a good bitch or a naughty motherfucker.
Bloods campaign, the one where it's just like that guy that he like only says honk or something, and you meet him in like out in the garden or something like that. I forget what his name was. Whatever.
Terminally capricious. Anyway, that's how the miracles work. Right. God, that sounds amazing. You really hope Gamzee gets there one day. Something jagged slams up against the haze of drugged contentment. You feel it like a booming knock on the inside of your consciousness. You remember a face. Gamzee's face. No. Not quite. It's a face with makeup, but
guy.
It's younger. Kinder. More vulnerable. You remember, this is a friend. You remember you had friends. You remember a clown. With a monumental effort you force yourself into a sitting position. Gamzee is still splayed out on the floor, totally gone. You have to figure this out. For a split second, you had it. You shake your head, trying to clear it. You stagger up. Gamzee makes a sleepy noise and rolls onto his side. You stagger back into the living room, feeling your way across the wall until you find an ablution trap. You locate the sink and splash some water on your face, trying to focus enough to concentrate but not enough to lose this thread. Somehow, you know that if you become too aware of yourself you are going to completely forget everything again. It's almost like someone wants you to forget. Forget all of your friends and your past adventures. You close your eyes and picture that friendly clown face. A name drifts across your mind, almost close enough to snatch.
Yeah, that guy.
Zap.
What was his name?
All of your other trips through the narrative have been instantaneous. 1 second you're in a place, and the next you're in another. This time, the air feels warm and gelatinous, like trying to run while waist deep in water. The drug pie could just be fucking with your powers, but you know in the core of you that isn't right. You are where you aren't supposed to be, and something here knows you're trespassing. Something here is awake and it sees you.
Oh, animation.
Your body
Sweet.
goes through a series of shivers not unlike when you first tasted the pie. Some distant layer of you knows that's whatever you are experiencing is wrong, and not meant to be seen by anyone, as if somehow you've gotten a glimpse into the subatomic level.
Ooh.
Your vision stretches out in a long, empty corridor, and at the other end, is, You slingshot back to Gamzee's hive, hitting the floor with what feels like every inch of your body. God, how can you fall on your ass and your head at the same time? How is that legal? Even worse, you appear to have sobered up much faster than you have any right to. The high has broken like a fever and you are sweating through your trendy collared shirt. You turn. Gamzee has somehow moved himself to the couch while you were doing whatever it was. Trying to throw yourself into part of the narrative you don't have permissions to see. He looks significantly less stoned than before, too.
Although that would explain if the drug pies have like some otherworldly vision powers that would explain stuff. Not going to spoil anything, but it would explain stuff.
Trolling, terminally capricious, where'd you go at motherfucker?
Go
Oh, you just tried to pop in to visit someone. Someone you thought you remembered from your past. And it went wrong. Somehow you're just getting the image of a T-posing figure, which is absolutely absurd. Trolling, terminally capricious, damn. Trolling, terminally capricious, that's some deep nonsense right there. Trolling, terminally capricious, some righteous fucking noise. Yeah. You guess so. Probably just the drugs, though. Gamzee looks at you through slitted, hazy eyes, and you realize that trying to explain anything to him when he's in this state isn't going to do any good. Just a fever dream. And that's probably exactly what it was. Shit. Maybe this is what the kids refer to as a bad trip. Is this what Gamzee does? Just sits in his hive all the time and gets high? Well, that's a perfectly respectable way to deal with a hell place like Alternia, but, God. It makes you sad. All these kids you've met so far make you so incredibly sad. There, now you went and bummed yourself out. You're exhausted. You really aren't above doing the least amount of work for the highest possible reward here. You shrug and tell him that probably what you experienced was a miracle. Gamzee's beatific smile makes it all better.
Woohoo! Victory! Drugs always help you make friends.
Image.
That's what they're trying to say, right?
It dare to resist drugs and alcohol.
I am actually not resisting the call of alcohol right now, so...
You take a deep breath and prepare to stand up to peer pressure. You tell Gamzee that you think you'll pass on the pie. Trolling, terminally capricious, whoa for real. Trolling, terminally capricious, nobody's ever turned down a bite before. Really? How many people has he offered it to? Gamzee grins. Trolling, terminally capricious, well motherfuck you got me there. Trolling, terminally capricious, no fear brother no fear. Trolling, terminally capricious, you gotta be all doing what you're feeling. Trolling, terminally capricious, no way I'm about to harsh a brother's flow when it comes to all their personal preferences or whatever. Oh, thank God. He isn't going to think you're uncool for not doing his drug pie. You can't exactly recall where you picked up the idea that Alternian drugs are not a good idea, but you're pretty sure it's right. Maybe just a good general rule of thumb, avoid alien-controlled substances. Or possibly all alien substances. Maybe it would be bad for you even if it wasn't drug pie. Your internal anatomy is still a mystery to you. Actually, Gamzee is taking this so well that you feel emboldened to go further. Push a little harder. Man, you are really getting brazen with this after-school special shit. You suggest to Gamzee that, just maybe, he shouldn't eat the pie either. He raises both eyebrows and gives you a slow blink, looking from the pie, to you, and back again. He looks absolutely flabbergasted at the idea. Hasn't anybody ever mentioned to him that he should be careful of what he eats? Not even Karkit? Karkit absolutely seems like the kind of guy to want to micromanage his friends' lives.
The auto voicer can't understand that that's supposed to be lies. It's weird.
Trolling, terminally capricious, me gh ta said a thing or two.
Mida, I can't understand Mida.
Trolling, terminally capricious, once or maybe 2 times. Does Gamzee ever think about following his good friend's advice? Gamzee freezes with one long-fingered hand reaching for the pie. You can practically see the gears turning in his pen. Head. In his head. You catch another flicker of that flat, affectless menace behind his eyes. Then he splits into another big sloppy grin. Trolling, terminally capricious, fuck it. Gamzee rises eerily to his feet like he's on marionette strings, almost without bending his knees. Picking up the pie, he shuffles across the rumpus block and opening the window. He makes and holds eye contact as he throws the pie out of the window. Oh. Okay. Well, that's one way to get rid of it. But what about the pie plate? Trolling, terminally capricious, more where that came from. Trolling, terminally capricious, anything I want I just enter it into the computer and it appears outside the hive a couple hours later. Trolling, terminally capricious, fucking miracles man. Or maybe just same day delivery. Is there a troll Amazon? Gamzee lets out a creaky laugh. It makes you a little nervous, and you can't quite pinpoint why. Trolling, terminally capricious, slow down brother. Trolling, terminally capricious, you're talking all the deep motherfucking heresies today.
Uh-oh. You're gonna die.
Trolling, terminally capricious, turning down a perfectly good pie what could have got us well and truly seeing the glories what's the Messiah's put up on this planet. Trolling, terminally capricious, don't take away my miracles too. Well, you didn't make him throw the pie out the window. You just made a suggestion. He didn't have to listen to you. Trolling, terminally capricious, no. No, you got the right of it. Trolling, terminally capricious, we'll do it your way. Trolling, terminally capricious, you never know. The old goat might come home for once. Trolling, terminally capricious, and he never likes it when I fly high on pie. Well, if he's sure. Gamzee looks at you from across the room, silhouetted against the window like a black spot on the moon. and you think you may have made a mistake. You aren't exactly sure why, just, something in the back of your head is shouting at you. Maybe you'll check. Just to be sure. So when Gamzee lopes back into the kitchen, maybe to throw more shit passive-aggressively out a window, you zap forward. Just a little while. A couple of days. The house is quiet, but everything looks mostly the same. When you listen, though, you hear a steady thump, thump, thump. If you didn't know better, you might say it was someone banging something against drywall. For instance, their head. The sound rattles through the stone of the hive and builds along the scaffolding of your body. With mounting dread, you zap forward a few days. The hive is a wreck. It wasn't exactly a showroom before, but now there are 3 times as many honk horns, and Faygo bottles overflow off the table. The couch bleeds stuffing from 3 long gouges. The TV is shattered, and every mirror in the house is broken. Every shiny surface slashed past recognition. It's like someone didn't want to see themselves. Gamzee. Oh God, what happened?
He's coming down.
You zap to Karkat's hive.
Ooh.
He knows Gamzee, he'll be able to tell you, oh God.
Yep, you screwed up.
Red. Red everywhere. It's on Karkat's bedroom walls, the floor, even arching up to the ceiling. Karkat's red, red blood. You'd never gotten a chance to talk to him about it? Your stomach curls in on itself, and you fall forward onto your knees, retching onto the carpet. You haven't had any of the pie, so nothing comes up. Kanaya's room is in far greater disarray. She looks like she put up much more of a fight than Karkat had. There are great gouts of jade blood over the bolts of cloth and drafting table, but it's joined by deep splashes of royal purple. Kanaya's husk top glows sickly into the dim room. A smiley face with a round clown nose is painted in blood on the screen. Beneath it an instant message flashes. AG, Fussy Fangs, what the fuck? AG, you can't ignore me forever, Mariam. I doubt you can even do it for one night? GAO. AG? GAO, smiley face. The cursor flashes. Green and purple ooze on the keys, still wet. Oh God. He's gone after AG too. You have to do something. You appear in a tall stone room. You've never been here before. Or maybe you have. Maybe you've already made good friends with this particular troll. It really depends on which option you chose at the beginning of the volume.
Yeah, totally.
God, why did you think that? Why isn't your brain working? What the fuck is wrong with you? You feel like you know all of this, but not. Like you watched it all happen to somebody else.
So not seeing any blood here at least.
From the distance you hear a telltale honk. Ice sheets up your spine. Honk. That is the most cursed noise you've ever heard in your life. Jesus fuck, you are going to have nightmares filled with brass instrumentation, provided you don't die immediately.
Now, technically in the canon of the comic or whatever, like just going off like their power level system based on blood type, Gamzee should be able to defeat Vriska, but also Vriska is crafty, so maybe she might be able to take him.
Honk. Trolling,
Never
terminally
mind.
capricious, oh hey there motherfucker. Trolling, terminally capricious, you're late. Oh, hey Gamzee. You sure, sure look totally fucked up. Green and crimson paint his shirt, splashed up his arms to the elbows. It's like fucking Crete maze up in here. 3 deep purple gouges intersect his face, still bleeding freely. Shit, dude. You should have kept doing your drugs if this was the alternative. Talk about an overreaction. Trolling, terminally capricious, overreaction. Trolling, terminally capricious, isn't no fucking reaction, little aberrant speck of worm meat. Trolling, terminally capricious, this is the true God's judgment. Trolling, terminally capricious, he came to me, motherfucker. He spoke his words in my ear. Trolling, terminally capricious, he's the only one what's ever bothered to say motherfucking truths to me. Who came to him? Who was speaking truth? Trolling, terminally capricious, don't worry. You'll meet him soon. Trolling, terminally capricious, honk. Trolling, terminally capricious, honk honk. Trolling, terminally capricious, honk honk honk.
I don't know if it's a little more or less ominous with the auto voicing. But anyway, I guess happy Halloween at least.
Trolling, terminally capricious, honk 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 honk. Oh god. Trolling, terminally capricious, oh, smiley face, smiley face.
Okay.
Image GUI/title_knowledge not found.
Alright, short break while I refill my glass here, and we will get on with Vriska's. So, 1 sec. There we go. Don't want to resist too much alcohol there. Anyway, let's get on with this before my computer crashes again.
Volume 6 Route 2, The Scourge of the High Seas.
Bam.
Your latest narrative jaunt has you walking down an Alternian shore. The two moons light up this beach cove in shades of pink and lime green, their reflections playing at shimmering patterns in the gentle waves. It would be beautiful, if not for the haggard, monstrous gulls picking the flesh from dead and pungently rotting fish, crabs, and even one of their own. You keep your distance as they eye you warily, gore on their chipped beaks. These are not potential friends. Everywhere you jump, serendipity seems to guide your hand. But would it be right to call you fortunate? The night is cool, almost cold. You kick a pure white seashell down the beach. It skips gracelessly in the dark gray sand. You have brought friends together and just barely begun to master this tremendous and strange new power. But, no, you think. You are not fortunate. As you walk alone down the sand that's still radiating stored up heat from the searing day, you feel a pang. Something is missing. You know you've felt this way before, but you can't place when. You have a gulf within you, the width and breadth of this ocean. An isolation so plain, so true, that it seems impassable, invincible. You step on a weird bug and you don't even care. Yes, you are filled with a sudden, almost comforting conviction. Nothing you have done on your journey has really made a difference. If you can pick up and put down the lives of these alien weirdos and human weirdos and shake them like an Etch-a-Sketch when things go wrong, are you really accomplishing anything? Or are you just building shitty castles in the sand with flimsy plastic implements, castles that won't mean shit for nothing when the tide rises? You've decided. You are a creature of solitude. You are a rock. You are an island. From now on, you walk alone.
No more friends, except for the one that's probably going to show up. Like right
there
now.
May be an angled figure crouched with terrible posture on a dock ahead, sure. That figure may be sitting next to an intriguing-looking moored ship, yes. But surely one glimpse of a potential life to meddle in won't immediately make you fall off the wagon, back to a life of itinerant friendship. Right?
Alright, no options, but yeah.
Oh sweet, a new friend. God damn it.
Weird rendition of Vriska. I was actually kind of looking forward to this. The design is, I mean, it's definitely Vriska, but it's I don't know, weird. It doesn't have the dots on the glasses though. It's supposed to have 8 dots right here. I think it was 8 dots and then like 1 dot in the middle. 8 dots around it. Whatever. Anyway, Vriska's cool.
You amble over to the girl hunched on the dock like the stupid thumbo friend slut you are, doing an acrobatic fucking pirouette off the wagon. She hasn't seen you yet, so you watch her like a creep. She's leaning over a complicated pile of papers, erasing boxes, and filling them in again. Every once in a while, she pauses to roll various dice. As soon as you take one step onto the wooden deck, she looks up and jumps with a feline quickness into a standing position, looking immediately ready for a fight. Trolling, whoa. Trolling, what are you? You raise your hands in a pathetic sort of I'm innocent and weak motion. Which, for you, is basically any motion. Trolling, W8 a second.
Oh yeah, the auto voice is gonna have trouble with her speaking pattern. She's a lot of 8s and words and whatnot.
Trolling, you're that weirdo that was 8 othering Kanaya, aren't you?
Yep.
Yep. You're exactly that weirdo, and now you're here saying hello to a new stranger and maybe make a new friend. Isn't that great? Trolling, GR8. Just what I needed. More meddling. Trolling, I know I'm the coolest, 8UT I'm kind of 8USY right now. Trolling, 8IG campaign tonight. Dude. You are so good at campaigns, you tell her. You're all about hope and change. You helped Al Gore hang a Chad. Tippy Canoe and Tyler too. Trolling, what even the fuck are you saying? Don't call me dude. Or anything else, for that matter. You mean you're down to help? Maybe be her campaign manager? Trolling, huh? Trolling, I'm the captain here, 8UDDY. Trolling, 8UT, as it happens, I'm currently all out of first M8S.
Alright, yeah, I'm not even going to bother trying to translate.
Trolling, 8UT,
thing, but
as it happens,
whatever,
I'm currently all out of first M8S.
8s for, 8, and also for Bs, so you can figure it out.
Trolling, 18ESWA88IE.
A swabby?
Oh. It's like a boat thing. Trolling, yes.
I don't know, I guess I just wasn't expecting her chin to be that pointy. But, whatever.
So that's why there's a boat there. Trolling. What are all the papers on the ground for? Trolling, the campaign, DUM8ASS. Trolling, they're the character sheets for me, the greatest petticoat secret ever to sail the 8 seas. Trolling, one of our friends was raised in a cave and she still knows what flarp is. Well, you can zap over to the cave and ask her, then. Her look of indifference is immediately replaced with a tilt of the head, as though your threat to leave caught her attention. Trolling, ew. Not unless you want to smell like cat piss for weeks and get high off second-hand nip.
Talking about Nepeta there, who, since she's talking about, maybe that'll be in the next chapter. Probably Nepeta and Equius, if I had to guess.
Trolling, look, it's simple. Pick a name and roll up some stats.
Although, by that logic, I would have thought that... Oh crap, I'm terrible at remembering these names. That double-up guy would be with Aradia, but whatever.
Trolling, the Marquise, for example, I am Marquise Spinneret Mindfang. Trolling, the Marquise, I'm the scourge of the high seas, an undefeated champion of naval flarp. Trolling, the Marquise, my colors on the horizon turn even HIGH8LOODS into sniveling cowards. You say that sounds really cool. But aren't troll names 6 letters long? You mean, you've only met a couple before this, but for some reason you have a really strong sense of the rules here. Trolling, the Marquise, I'm in character here. Trolling, the Marquise, try to keep up. You guess that explains the outfit. She seems, really into this. Maybe weirdly into this. It's all a bit intense. Isn't this just a game? Trolling, the Marquise, Flarp is more than just a game. Trolling, the Marquise, and I'm the 8est there is. Trolling, the Marquise, how a8out this, if you agree to make a character and sail with me, I'll tell you my real name. You look at her elaborate costume, over at her ship, and decide. Why the hell not? You've already made your friend bed, now you have to sleep in it. Not that you're going to sleep, or anything. That would be patently ridiculous. Trolling, the Marquise, okay, let's walk you through this. You should be flattered that a master gamer like me is giving you the full tutorial. I had to read the 800ks myself. With no help.
Okay, so she can read.
Trolling,
Congratulations.
the Marquise, the first thing you do is roll values for each of the 10 dice rostra. Simple, right? She pops a huge bag of dice out of her Siladex and starts handing you groups at a time. You roll 2d4 for dice rostrum, Throne of the Empress, and get 2 ones. You roll 6d6 for dice rostrum, Conductor's Stand, and 6 fucking snake eyes stare up at you from the wood of the dock. Trolling, the Marquise, whoa. You're really 8AD at this. Take the
sure.
insult lying down, you've gotta hand it to her. When she's right, she's right. And she's right, so she's right. You've finished all 26 dice rolls required for this game and you've gotten the lowest on each one. What rotten luck.
So, is this one just not going to have any actual, like, real options, or are they just doing that for some flair, having the one option thing?
Trolling, the Marquise, I have never seen anyone roll this low 8EFORE. I didn't even know you could get a 0. Trolling, the Marquise, it's okay. We can save this 8 by putting the stats in the right place. She flips to another page of the player's handbook that shows you the attributes of Flarp. For some reason, you can read them, despite just arriving on this planet for the first time. Right? Trolling, the Marquise, so you're Vim, Grit, Pulchritude, and Grace COM8INE with real-life vitals to make your HP. Wait. Real-life vitals? Your body is weak and shitty. Is this some kind of hardcore game? The most dangerous game? If you die in the game, do you die in real life?
In the game? The most dangerous game?
Trolling, the Marquise, yeah. Trolling, the Marquise, you didn't know? The sheer combined shock of what you don't know could kill an elephant quicker than Thomas Edison trying to discredit an immigrant.
Okay. Not sure where that's supposed to be a reference to, but whatever.
Trolling, the Marquise, you get to roll again when you level up, so you won't 8E so pathetic forever. Trolling, the Marquise, I mean, if you survive. Trolling, the Marquise, 8UT with a scourge like me at your side, you're on easy street. Trolling, the Marquise, I'm jealous of you, really. Smiley face. You gulp, and nod. Okay, let's finish this.
I guess adding the red dots would have been too much work, maybe?
The Marquise grins. Her lipstick smears a bit where her fangs jut out. You'd think that's just how it is for trolls wearing lipstick, but Kanaya's was perfect. She pulls an 8-ball out of her pocket and smashes it, suddenly and violently, on the dock. You jump at the noise. She looks at you, pitifully, and then decides not to make fun of you. Out of the wrecked plastic sophistic sphere, a gross fucking grubby worm appears. It's like the size of a wiener dog. In its wriggling, you see that it's pulsating. Covered in the blue-tinted family recreation water once inside an 8-ball, the group's swollen ovipositor glistens. It extends to deposit a massive brood of eggs, each glowing in the center with a slowly pulsating lead light. This is so fucking gross. You look away and dry heave a bit, leaning off the dock. So far this game sucks ass. Trolling, the Marquise, G.
What?
Trolling, the Marquise, don't tell me you've never seen a game GRU88EFORE. You tell her you have never seen a game Grub before. Also maybe she should give a CW before she makes you watch a thing that includes a glistening ovipositor.
Oh, content warning, that's what CW is.
Trolling, the Marquise, what? Ah. Shit. Yeah, that was pretty gross. Here. You bring up the pause menu, click on warnings, and give it a read before making an informed decision. Have those been here the whole time?
I don't think they have, because I haven't noticed them before. Where is
Quit game.
Menu? Yep,
Warnings.
Let's actually look at these right now.
Volume, as a general rule, Volume 6 Route 1, fucking canon. As a general rule, Pesterquest contains adult Volume 6 Route 2, The Scourge of the High Seas. As a general rule, Pesterquest contains adult language, violence, and innuendo. Content warnings for specific routes can be accessed by clicking on the route title, blood, gore, death, parental neglect, drug use, cannibalism, animal, mind control, arachnids, and
United States politics,
as a general rule, as a general rule, close, you bring up the pause menu. Vriska taps her foot impatiently while you fuck around in the game client. For some reason, seeing a full list of content warnings isn't easing your anxiety about what's ahead. It reminds you of something that once made you really angry. In fact, you're especially worried about the gore and death tags. Maybe you should just peace out of this. There's basically no harm whatsoever in you yeeting out of this one, and it might save you a drowning for good measure. Not that flirtation with dangerous ends is exactly rare for you.
Ooh, finally, some options.
Save.
Or is this going to be like
there's basically no harm whatsoever in you eating out of this one, and it might save you a drowning for good measure.
Who was that?
Not that flirtation with dangerous ends is exactly rare for you.
Oh, that they gave you that kind of a choose your own adventure type thing. I mean, obviously this is choose your own adventure, but it was more for content reasons. Anyway, I'm gonna go through all of these, so whatever.
Peace out.
Peace out. Let's see what peace out does.
You know what? You're not feeling up to tabletop gaming today. You close your eyes and feel yourself sink into another narrative. Trolling, the Marquise, WA.
Wait.
Trolling, the Marquise. Trolling, the Marquise, your loss.
Aww. Poor Vriska. That's actually kind of
Image
sad.
go eat.
So let's go do
Play
the
Flarp with
correct
Vriska. You know what? You're an informed reader and a prepared gamer. You've got this. You ask Vriska what's next. She points to one of the glowing, blinking eggs, which is hatching a pixelated-looking bat. It flaps its way into the air with a high-pitched squeak, and starts glowing and projecting a holographic image of a torch. Trolling, the Marquise, alright, all you have to do is assign your dice roster on your ATTRI8UTION sconce. What?
Your attribution sconce?
Trolling, the Marquise, pick your 8 EST and worst stats. Your top 2 stats determine your starting class. Trolling, the Marquise, there's a lot of classes, 8 UT I'm already the 8 EST one. Smiley face. Alright, well, that seems simple enough. Drag attributes into the dice rostrum you want to utilize for them. This decision is permanent, so make sure you are satisfied before pressing finalize and ensconcing them.
Uh-oh.
No class. No class.
Ooh.
No class.
Now, is it finalized, like totally finalized? As in, I can't come back here and do this
No
later?
class.
Let's see what we've got here. The text is like really tiny. So we got a 14, an 8, 5, 3, a 1, a 9, a 6, a 4, a 2, a 0. Got the Throne of the Empress, Scrimshaw Workstation, Tyranny's Tribune, Bilge Water Soapbox, Oracle's Dais, Foolish Professor's Lectern, Conductor's Stand, Tribune of the Heiress, Choir Box of the Face Paint Angels, Podium of Runners Up. Let's see here. Vim, your vigor, primary component of HP. High Vim makes you more durable, while low Vim makes you more dangerous. You're vulnerable. Rascality, to get away with mischief. Is your compliant matrix defense. What? Dex, obvious. As your finesse paired with gruff or intricate tasks. Pulchritude, suaveness and hard-boiled credentials, important for any action that requires charm or charisma. Grace, your ability to maintain your poise and smoothness, paired with dex for intricate tasks. Appetite, hunger and enthusiasm. High app makes you more effective in combat, while low app improves your passive healing. Oh, that's interesting. So this is one that should probably be more around the middle. I guess so. Let's put that in.
No class.
Oracle Oasis, Man Grit. This isn't just for men, but it's what helps you lift safes or get your cool when you're wounded. So like strength, hubris, sheer confidence.
Nope.
Low high hub lets you overrule your clouder more successfully. Low hub increases your compliance matrix offense. Leverage is the foundation of the balanced power between clouders. No idea what frickin' clouder is. Imagination, your inventiveness. Highly useful for all classes when cloudy.
No class.
Oh, so it looks like Dex, Grace, and what else was it that like?
No class.
Was it app?
No class.
Whatever, let's just hit random and go with it.
Pompous thaumaturge.
Pepstridge.
Pep. Boy Skylark.
Rain Glorious.
Ispiacruna.
Especially
Equine linebacker.
Equine linebacker. Okay, I like that. Let's go with it.
Your two highest attributes are GRA and GRT. Your starting class will be Equine linebacker. Trolling, the Marquise, ha. That's my NA8 or S class. I only ever got him to play once, though. Trolling, the Marquise, a max level petticoat secret and a level 1 equine linebacker. Trolling, the Marquise, not exactly the meta STRAT. You're lucky you're paired with the NUM8ER1 gamer on Alternia. Trolling, the Marquise, 8EFORE I can carry you to victory, we need just one more thing. There's more of this bullshit? What now? Is a giant sandworm going to poke its head out of the sand and puke up some more fucking game mechanics that will be described in excruciating narrative detail?
So maybe that's why they are only doing like single options on this one, because of that whole character stat selection screen. I guess that took all of their effort on this one, which is fine. I mean, you do have like a whole bunch of different options there.
Trolling, the Marquise, quit 8EING so dramatic. Your character needs a name. Oh, a name. You already have one of those, though. You told Jade it already. But, man, you're not feeling as comfortable with it right now for some reason.
Did we tell Jade our name?
Why is thinking of yourself as a distinct being with an identity and a history feel so uncomfortable? What's wrong with you? Might as well just make up a character name. Name your character?
Oh. Zoo smell. Lord. I wonder if there's a thing that happened to put this name in there. Because this was John, the main character John's name. Back in like the very first like couple panels of Homestuck. Yeah, it has like a screen like you're naming the character and you could name him Zoo Smell Poop Lord. Or was it Poop Lord? No, I'm thinking Zoo Smell Poop Lord. Yeah, let's go.
Trolling, the Marquise. The Marquise welcomes you AAOARD her ship, Zoo Smell Poop Lord. As soon as you confirm your name, the other eggs start squelching and cracking into more little flying holographic biotech projectors of various shapes and sizes, mobs, and dragonflies and lightning bugs zipping off into the distance. Vriska captchalogs all her various books and character sheets, pushes her eye patch glasses up the bridge of her nose, and clambers up the gangplank of her ship, which you see has a name painted on the side in Cerulean script as you follow her.
Oh, that makes sense. This is not her actual... I am confused about the time scale here. So, she... Not sure how I can say this without spoilers, but anyway, this is before she has the glasses with the dots on the eye. Sure, let's say it like that.
8 Brigantine. Trolling, the Marquise. Here, hold this. Vriska hands you a rope and you hold onto it, keeping the mainsail rolled up as she scurries to and fro, aft and bow, across the deck of the ship, making adjustments. You watch her try to tie a double bowline but struggle with the dexterity of her mechanical fingers, swearing in frustration under her breath. You politely look away and try to make idle conversation.
Alright, never mind if she's got the mechanical fingers. I thought that was just like maybe a costume thing right there at this point.
You ask for her end of the bargain. Trolling, the Marquise. What? Her name. You made a character, she tells you her name. That's the deal. She secures another rigging and stomps back over to you. Trolling, the Marquise. You haven't really made a character until you're in costume. Is your fit not already fresh? Perhaps even the freshest? Trolling, the Marquise. Trolling, the Marquise. Here. She dumps an extra outfit out of her inventory, looking almost exactly like an earlier version of hers. Smaller, with more amateur stitching. You put on the big bridge coat and feel super badass. She looks at you, tilts her head to evaluate, and then grabs a jaunty hat, feather and all, from her Siladex and pops it on your head. Trolling, the Marquise. Nice. Trolling, Arachnid's grip. Alright. My name's Vriska. Trolling, Arachnid's grip. Vriska Circuit. Don't you forget it? Vriska Circuit, or the Marquise, satisfied with her preparations, snatches the rope from you and lets it go, unfurling the mainsail. She practically skips to the captain's wheel, ready to steer the 8 Brigantine out of the harbor. Real name basis is one step closer to friendship, though for a moment you feel like you got told that name already.
Yep,
your brain is messed up enough without remembering stuff that maybe didn't happen in canon. If canon is even a real thing that means something anymore. Your unsettling metatextual introspection is interrupted by Vriska shouting. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, roll for initiative. You hear the buzz of projector bugs boarding your ship, and soon 4 flickering holograms appear on the main deck, looking like lurching zombie trolls. You already hear dice rattling on the deck, and you look over at her to cheat and figure out what you need to roll. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, alright, I'm starting with an 18. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, looks like you got a SU8TRACT the modifier. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, 19. Huh. Guess you go first, Zoozmel Pooplord. This is it, it's LARPing time. You look down at the piece of paper with your abilities on it, ready to cast magic missile or Bugs Bye's grasping hand or some shit. You pick the top attack from the list. It's your special class ability. You channel the spirit of the equine linebacker, point straight at one of the holographic zombies, and yell that you're casting Naver CIT coming. You grab a D20, and blow on it in your hand. Your lady luck. No snake eyes. Other gambling terms, whatever. You let the icosahedron of tabletop destiny drop through the air, awaiting the result with bated breath. You get a 2 and miss, goddammit. Vriska laughs out loud. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, check out how a real gamer does it. Then she shows you how a real gamer does it. Over the course of this and the next 4 holographic encounters of ballooning complexity, tediousness, difficulty, and word count, she just rolls so many goddamn dice and keeps track of so many goddamn stats.
All the iron's in the fire.
You're overwhelmed, bewildered, and tired of doing math in pencil by the time the last squid-themed hollow monster dies. You were worried about the danger of this game before, but it seems like the only way you're gonna die today is from fucking boredom. Then you spot it. A schooner painted all in black emerges from the fog. You shout to Vriska that there's a ship on the port horizon.
They must be playing version 4.0, that's why there's so much math and stats and everything.
Vriska looks, right. Does she not know the difference between port and starboard? Huh. You point in the proper direction, and she gives that mischievous grin of hers. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, now it's time for the real action. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, we've entered the PvP ENA 8 lead zone. She puts aside her character sheets and dice, drawing a blue saber. She holds it in one hand, the ship's wheel in the other. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, that's the Rue, the ship of Dreadclaw Ophelia. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, top of the naval flarp leader 8 words. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, she's got a whole crew on that 808T. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, 8UT, she's just another rich sea dweller with hired help, and she's 8EN too scared to face me.
So, the sea dwellers, there's 2 levels of sea dwellers, and they're like the top of the Alternian like hierarchy or whatever. So, that's what she's referring to.
Vriska's pointed your ship straight at the Rue and you picked up speed. You can make out a troll girl with finned ears in a gaudy purple outfit that you'd describe as sexy pirate Halloween costume from the world's most bougie party city. Dreadclaw Ophelia.
No, they wouldn't get Pfeffery in there yet. And like I know the very tippy top are the ones that become the queens, so there's a Pfeffery, if I'm getting her name right, and I don't think there would be another one because I think they are intentionally very rare.
It's absolutely garish compared to Vriska's more normcore approach to RP activewear. But dressed much more humbly than the captain are a bunch of low bloods standing behind her, clutching shitty rusty swords and shaking. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, so let's 8ring the fight to her. You're not slowing down. You're pointed straight at the enemy hull. Vriska steers your ship directly into the well-appointed schooner and you struggle to keep your feet at the shock of impact, which knocks the violet blood and her frightened thralls to the deck of the Rue. She yells over the din of horrific wood-on-wood screeching. Trolling, Arachnid's Grip, hey, SWA88IE, Trolling, Arachnid's grip, 180 really good at sword fighting? You look at her with stars in your eyes. Yes. Yes, you do wanna be really good at sword fighting. You nod eagerly, and she underhand tosses you her blue-hilted saber, which you catch eagerly. Vriska grins back, puts her hand to her temple, and squints with her one good eye. The 7 red dots of her prosthetic seem to smear and blur as your vision loses focus. You've managed well to this point as first mate of the 8 Brigantine, but your sea legs seem to give out on you all at once.
Okay, it's only 7 dots. Well, I guess 8. She's got the whole spider thing going on, so that's the whole 8-eye thing.
You drop the sword you were just given, and it clatters to the deck. You try to tell her something's wrong, but your mouth lolls open and you drool a bit. A dull pain gains a sharp and sudden clarity, it feels as though 8 spindly legs are crawling on your head. No. In your head. Each footfall feels more like a knife cutting through butter.
Basically what she's attempting to do is she was attempting to do mind control on it on us to make us go over there, but it doesn't really work on non-trolls perfectly. Like, I think on humans it just makes people fall asleep.
At some point, all sensation slips into nothing, and you follow the sword to the ground, asleep. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, what the fuck? Trolling, Arachnid's grip, W8KE up, moron. You don't hear that, and you don't wake up. The salt and swell of the ocean gives way to the rustling of alien trees. No longer do you hear the scream of gulls following your ship, waiting for corpses and gore to tumble overboard. It's all peaceful. Consciousness returns to you, and its first present is the discovery that you're face down in slightly wet dirt. Some got in your mouth. You spit it out and sit up, brushing muck off of your flarp costume. Wait, that's not a flarp costume. That's a hoodie with a jagged cerulean symbol, a different symbol on it, loose-fitting, as though it belonged to a friend. Half memories swim in your mind as you take in the scene, just as familiar as your clothing. A stump sitting in a clearing between the trunks of a purple-treed alternian forest. A harpoon sticks out of it.
Huh.
This stump would typically fill you with unease, an aura of death and defeat. But a squirrely silhouette cuts through the darkness, and you step further into the clearing and feel your heart lift.
So if it's a harpoon, no, I was thinking, let's see, I think the queen level, the top level, throws tridents. I think harpoons might be the one right between, which would be right between the top purple, or the top queen, I think fuchsia is the color, between that and the purple, the Gamzee level purple. There's one level, but I'm looking at exactly what that color is called.
Sitting there on the stump, kicking bare feet back and forth, tilting her head to the side and smiling impishly, is your friend, Boulder Lomity.
Okay, so from Hive Swap's Friend Sim, so I'm not sure where or when this is in the timeline and whatnot. So are all the Friend Sim trolls like in the same time frame as the standard Homestuck trolls? I have no idea.
You remember her. You remember her. Boulder, PST. Boulder, fancy seeing you here. Boulder, that's a joke, I'm a figment of your imagination and was expecting you the whole time. She pats the stump next to her in an inviting gesture and you sit down. You feel less adrift than you can ever remember. You tell her you missed her. Boulder, of course you did. Boulder, you've gotten yourself into a real mess, dear friend. You ask about all your old friends. Sitting next to you, they flip through your mind clear as day, as though the memories were never locked away in the first place. How are Tagora and Galek doing? Has she run into our data again? What's going on in the neighborhood? Do folks miss you?
Our data is the same blood level, same blood caste as Vriska, actually. So that's what was going on with her mind control abilities.
That last question collapses her wry smile into a genuine, crestfallen expression. Boulder, I can't really tell you that for sure. Boulder, you've seen it for yourself, just how much he can do. Boulder, there's a whole other disturbance in this neighborhood and it has his nefarious fingerprints all over it. Boulder, it's almost like he was preparing for this. Boulder, but I try to stay one step ahead and I remember what I'm fighting for. Boulder, do you? The question is arresting. What are you doing? Even with your memory clouded, you've just been bumbling into other people's stories, breaking things as you go. Boulder, well, there's nothing wrong with breaking things. Boulder, it's like they say. Boulder, sometimes you have to compromise a few unfertilized cluck beast embryo in the name of a complete breakfast.
That's one way to put it.
You tell her you haven't had a good breakfast in ages. One of the places you were at had swords in the fridge. Also, you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. Boulder, you're going where the river takes you. Boulder, but things are different now. Boulder, there is a great power within you that you are just now realizing. Boulder, the power to shape the river, to use its waters to scour the lands as you please. Boulder, a power even he doesn't fully understand. You look down at your hands. Sitting next to her, you start to remember the green room, the story you've fallen into. You tell her there's so much broken, and you have no idea how to fix it. You tell her you wish she was real, not just in your head. She'd know what to do. She tilts her head again, inquisitively. Boulder, am I, though? Boulder, just in your head I mean. Boulder, the story is only broken if you accept that it is broken. Boulder, if you think of the story as something given to you. Boulder, but it's not. Puppet masters may try and tell you that the strings they are pulling are the only ones. As she says this, her head jerks back, oddly. But she continues whispering, calm as ever. Boulder, don't be afraid. Boulder, don't let anyone tell you that this story belongs to them. Boulder, not him, not anyone. You feel it, too. It feels like threads tug at your body, and at hers even more. Her limbs twitch and pull in gruesome pantomime as more and more strings loop around her and disappear skyward. They nearly surround her completely, but you are powerless to resist, paralyzed. Boulder, it's for you. Boulder, it's always been for you. Boulder, remember, friend, the only question. She only manages to spit out 4 more words as she is swallowed up and tangled in a spider's web of marionette string, choked and broken. Boulder, what? Boulder, will. Boulder, you. Boulder, do. The whole scene seems to melt away in searing green, and you are falling, dancing beneath the skilled hands controlling you. He is here. He was already. The ticking of 1,000 clocks, exactly in time, echoes around you.
Yeah, they're basically talking about, Okay, so I remember his, why am I so terrible at names? No, not Doc Scratch. Oh my god, has it really been that long since I've read Homestuck? Jeez. So there's the young kid version of him, and then there's the adult version of him. Why am I blanking on their names? I actually like the kid version of them too. It's just not coming to me right now. But yeah, the big bad of the entire thing, they had a big thing that since he was
the whole scene seems to melt away in searing green.
So in terms of like
falling,
time control, and
dancing beneath the skilled hands
he's not
controlling
coming,
you.
He's already here.
He is here.
That sort of thing.
Did you miss me? I seem to be on your mind. I'm flattered. It's no wonder you're thinking about me just after meeting one of my greatest disappointments. You really do spend too much time around willful little girls. It may start to give you ideas. Ideas of choice. Of challenge. You're relevant because those holding the strings decided you're relevant. An observer. The show must go on. But don't make the mistake these little ingrates did. It can go on without you. The bits that really matter, at least. What's that? Am I doing this? I'm afraid not, darling. I don't even know to what you're referring. Tears sear at the edge of your eyes again. You try to keep Boulder's words in your mind as the strings squeeze the breath out of you. What will you do? Another voice seems to answer, from another place entirely. Scratchy and loud, it says, fix this. You wake up. Cold stone and a draft greets you. Charming. You blearily open your eyes, memories of the dream already fading to wisps in your mind. You're in the cluttered bedroom, the cluttered respite block that you're sure is Vriska's, based on the broken 8 balls scattered everywhere. You pick yourself up off the ground and try to think about how you got here. You passed out back on the 8 Brigantine. She must have brought you home. But where is she? You turn around and see a window. You look outside and see a dramatic scene below. Vriska is, mind-controlling a group of thralls, ones she must have won off of Dreadclaw while you were out cold. They're marching one by one towards a massive web. Perched in the web is a giant spider, heaving, hulking, hungry. Vriska's about to feed the losers of this game to her Lucis.
Save right here, just so I can keep the...
Save slot 1, Thursday, close. Vriska's about to feed the losers of this game to her Lucis. You can't watch. Okay. Holy shit. Vriska's Lucis is a giant spider monster that eats children. This explains so much. And also raises a significant number of questions. That you're gonna think about while not watching these kids get eaten. You look for something to distract yourself with. You spot a black ragged book, much older than anything else in this room, with Vriska's symbol on the cover. You reach for it and open it up, flipping to a random page and seeing what looks like a journal scrawled in cerulean, but not Vriska's handwriting from your character sheet. Looking inside the first page, you see the name Mindfang. You read, and holy shit, you're very unsure this is appropriate for a young girl to be reading. You keep flipping through to different parts and, wow, it just gets worse. Vriska named her character after this? You lose yourself in hate reading Mindfang's long stories about petty crime, dubious consent, and weirdly detailed descriptions of the outfits of a woman named Reglair.
Reglair? Okay, Reglair, close enough.
You're surprised, then, when Vriska walks up the stairs, hands in her pockets, looking at the ground. She doesn't even look at you before sitting down on the floor across from you, cross-legged and staring 1,000 yards into the distance. She rocks back and forth, hands still in her pockets. You go to give her a reassuring pat on the back. As soon as you touch her metal shoulder, cold even through her shirt, she turns to you with a jumping glare and hisses like a cat before facing away again. You get the message. She takes an 8-ball out of her inventory again and then savagely, brutally beats it on the stone floor of her room until it's nothing but shards in a puddle. Then the two of you sit. She occasionally picks through the debris of the 8-ball and rocks, clenching and unclenching her fists. But as the minutes pass, her breathing slows bit by bit. You don't say a word or bring up what happened. She's the one who talks first. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, earlier, you seemed, like, confused. A8OUT, why I care so much. A8OUT playing a character. She thumbs the doge-hard edge of a worn piece of paper in her sharp-clawed hand, staring at the wall. She's still got blood on her jacket, blood that almost makes you retch with the memory of spidery mandibles devouring her spoils.
Well, spiders actually, they just, encase them in web or whatnot, but they will bite, inject their venom, which actually is part of their digestive system. They'll digest the innards and then, let that go on for a while, and then once all the insides are all gooey and whatnot, they'll slurp it up. So doesn't really work like that, so, but whatever.
One glimpse of it made you sick.
They don't really have mandibles.
What would dozens do?
This is an alien
Hundreds.
spider, so whatever.
Trolling, arachnids grip. I mean, it seems 08BIOUS to me that the Marquise is the GR8EST and coolest character ever made. Trolling, arachnids grip. 8UT I've 8EE and her for so long it's sort of like a part of me. Trolling, arachnids grip. Every 8 ODS throwing shapes every day and acting like something, right? Trolling, arachnids grip. 8UT most people are so 8-o-ring. They don't dress up, they don't act, they're always so 08-cessed with 8EING, the exact kind of troll they were yesterday. Trolling, arachnids grip. MAY8E you don't have to 8E the same. MAY8E you can go on message 8 words and try out 8EING someone new and find out you like it. Trolling, arachnids grip. MAY8E it's nice to 8E called something your Lucis doesn't call you. Trolling, arachnids grip. And meet people who only ever knew you as the girl online or on the other ship who is like super 8ADASS and good at things. Trolling, arachnids grip. Come on. You can't tell me you've never wanted to 8E someone else. You've edged a bit closer to her during this rant and are looking at the sheet of paper in her hand. It's a spreadsheet-looking series of boxes she's filled in with red ink. Name, Marquise Spinneret Mindfang. Class, Petticoat Seagrift. Gender, F. Levels, all of them. She's doodled all over the margins, art of her captaining ships and swinging swords and drinking out of goblets. Have you ever wanted to be someone else? The question makes you uncomfortable. Just pondering who you are now fills you with unease. Fuck, playing a character, filling out a sheet like this for yourself seems impossible. A piece of paper, representing all your physical and mental attributes. A blank canvas, the common outlines thereon defining the boundaries of every conceivable personality. You don't even know how you'd fill in the gender box. You've been busy making friends, okay. Suddenly she turns on you, and there's a desperate, kind of crazy intensity in her good eye, like her gaze will burn you. Trolling, arachnids grip. You're going to leave, aren't you? Trolling, arachnids grip. No, yeah, of course. EVERY8ODY does. Trolling, arachnids grip. Do you think I like this? Trolling, arachnids grip. I used to have a partner. She didn't like it either, but she helped anyway. Like you, I guess, except she didn't puke when she saw 8LOOD. And also not like you at all. Trolling, arachnids grip. She made rules. She loves rules. And I don't know if you noticed 8UT I'm not like 8IG on those. Gam 8 Lignant Queens 8 ROKE rules all the time, and that's just what you've gotta do to survive.
Gam Lignant? 8 Lignant? Alright, I have no idea what that word is supposed to be, but she is probably talking about... Oh, jeez. Look at her name too. Yeah, damn. It's been so long. Alright, Terezi. That's it. Terezi. Alright.
Trolling, arachnids grip, to make the voice stop haranguing me. And like, she heard her Lucis in her head too. 8UT she didn't need anything from her. What's that even like? Trolling, arachnids grip. I've got to be the 8EST. I have to. I didn't get all the levels just to look at them on the sheet. You saw me out there. It's dangerous. Trolling, arachnids grip. She tried to kill me and left me alone. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, and then I got even 80 cause that's what you have to do to 8 ax to 88 ERS. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, 8 UT I still don't feel even. It doesn't 8 OTHER her. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, no80dy ever cares. They just leave and move on and I'm still stuck here on this stupid world. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, how are people mad at me for putting losers out of their fucking misery? Trolling, Arachnid's grip, this planet fucking sucks. Ooh boy. That's a lot. You let her finish her tirade. She hasn't looked straight at you for the whole thing. You gently ask about how her Moirile, who you did just befriend, would feel about her saying she's alone. You see a lot of thoughts flicker through her head and a lot of expressions dance across her face. She settles onto a look like she's smelling something off. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, people always want shit from other people. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, sometimes you know SOME80DY and you can't discreate like, what your whole deal is. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, you grow up with these ideas A8OUT what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to 8E. You get handed down these strict categories. TA8LES in your player's handbook. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, and you read stories or journals or whatever that say this is a M8SPRIT, you feel like this A8OUT them. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, and you have a Moirile that meddles with you 80 cause you're just too 8 ROKEN for her and she just wants. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, or you get told oh, this is what a rival looks like and then you look at your 8 lactate and it's just an 8 solutely repulsive slimy eel who always wants you to kiss him and, ew. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, man, I could really upgrade in that department. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, 8 UT then there's someone that comes along and none of that stuff makes sense to you. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, you just like 8 EING with her. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, or it's not even like, you just, feel like shit makes more sense with her? Trolling, Arachnid's grip, I would say it's like you have this voice in your head saying you're not good enough all the time 8 UT she makes it quiet 8 UT I actually do have a voice in my head saying I'm not good enough. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, God. I'm not explaining this right. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, what I'm trying to say is. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, yeah, that's a doomsday device. Everyone leaves, no80dy cares, and we're all W8ING on a call up to war, and look. I'm ready. I'm the 8EST at war, it's just a 8IG flarb. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, 8 UT I'd rather have a plan A. You give Vriska a moment to breathe. You don't give her a reassuring touch on the back, remembering her jump and hiss when you tried that last. She's like a feral cat, this girl. Tangled, greasy hair droops over shoulders that are always hunched up, like something would come for her throat if she exposed it to anyone. You wonder if she ever let her shoulders down around the girl she's talking about. An ex, perhaps. Of course she did. You wonder if she ever will again. You hear a PSST in your ear and a squirrel a little laugh, and suddenly remember a green room and that you've had this thought before, somehow. You ask her the question that's been consuming you. Or, more accurately, not consuming you. Why were you left up here when everyone else got fed to the spider? Trolling, Arachnid's grip. She tenses up immediately when you ask this, and takes some time to clench her fists, then release them. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, some people are off limits. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, she has to eat, 8 UT. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, she doesn't eat my friends when I ate or ing her enough food. And you're counted as off limits? You're one of her friends. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, oh my god, don't get a 8IG head about it. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, I wouldn't let her eat Karkit, either, and he's not like, my 8 FFSIE for life or anything. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, plus you helped me out. And that's the pyre. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, plus Fussy Fangs would 8e mad. It must be hard separating trolls into two classes, friends and food like that. It must be hard, and nobody understands. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, I mean, that's how it works here. Every 8 ODS got someone to kick down on. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, except RUST8 LOODS, but them's the 8R8KS. Some 8 ODS got a 8E on the 8 OTTOM to keep the whole SHE8ANG afloat.
A lot of 8s in that one. But yeah, them's the breaks is kind of like her catchphrase back from the comic. Of course, it, the auto voice can't read it at all. Whatever.
Trolling, Arachnid's grip, killing people lower down than you is what all the school feeds say you're supposed to do. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, to get ready for a life of space war against. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, well, it mostly seems like they just kill more LOW8 LOODS. That's all it ever is. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, my ancestor. She looks left and right, as though she's going to be overheard, then leans in smirkingly. She sounds like she's letting you in on a secret.
See, her last name is Circuit, and baseball type secret. Yeah, whatever.
A secret.
Got it.
Trolling, Arachnid's grip, my ancestor, Mindfang. She sailed around 8EING, the terror of the high seas, for a while. 8 UT. Trolling, Arachnid's grip. She fell in with a group that was going to do something A8OUT all that. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, A8UNCH of weirdos led 8Y, a mutant who wanted revolution. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, I've always wanted to 8E like her. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, I liked using her name more than my own for a while. Dressing up like her, learning to sail. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, 8 UT, I always end up 8 ACK here with a pile of corpses. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, that's having a lusus, right? Sometimes you don't get to do what you want to do. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, she talks to me, you know. It only stops when she's full. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, always whispering in my head. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, saying I was fatter than her, saying I deserved all the things that happened to me. Trolling, Arachnid's grip, even when I was 8 living out on this floor. You look at the cold, cluttered, uncomfortably drafty room. Whatever happened to her face and arm must have happened here. You see a broken figure silhouetted on the wall. You look back at Vriska, and you know what she is. For all the bombast, insults, killing, you're looking at a survivor. You're looking at someone who did nothing wrong. You remember Dave's carefully crafted defense of a persona. You remember Rose, eating oatmeal for dinner in a drafty brutalist mansion. Jade, in the shadow of a volcano, raising herself. Your world can be as brutal as this one. Earth makes survivors too. And you have made a difference for them, one at a time. All of that nihilistic bullshit earlier feels like it was shouted at you by some meddling voice, someone holding the strings. Fuck that. You're gonna be a goddamn hero today. You're gonna make friends with this whole fucking planet if you have to, and you're going to make it better. Or at least less of a complete dumpster. You tell Vriska you'll be right back and sprint down a spiral staircase. You keep running, pumping your beautiful legs straight out the door of Vriska's giant hive. You don't have to color inside the lines of someone else's story. This is your motherfucking narrative now. You take a leap when you reach the cliff and barrel over, falling fast, wind whipping past your face as you tumble through the air towards the giant white spider. A leap not of faith, but of hope. You crash into the carapace of Vriska's terrible murder mom hard, cracking it with a piercing shriek. At the same time you zap hundreds of feet above the mouth of the volcano on Jade's Island and kick off the back of the spider, leaving the giant, troll-gorged arachnid tumbling into the lava as you zap back to Alternia, back to Vriska's respite block. You appear behind her. She doesn't notice you, she's looking out her window down at the empty web with a shocked expression. Still looking out the window, her stunned silence turns, slowly, into a grin, someone less generous than you would describe as shit-eating. Trolling, arachnid's grip, holy shit, Zoosmel poop lord. You actually did something.
Alright. That was a long
Image
one.
go
We've still got one more.
Intervene.
Intervene!
Holy
this
shit.
is going to go terribly.
This was supposed to be a game. These innocent kids are getting fed to a fucking spider, and it's all because of your definitely essential contributions to Vriska's victory. This is so messed up. Games don't cause violence, you think, as you rush down the stairwell. They can't. Vriska is going to discredit an entire generation of gamers and add fuel to the fire of anti-gaming activism with this kind of behavior.
Oh no, games causing violence.
Oh, and also kill some kids. That's like normal Alternia stakes, though. You've gotta defend the integrity of Fortnite, that's much more important. Obviously.
Screw Fortnite.
You rush out into the late night air, too late to save a tranquilized, mind-controlled olive blood from being torn asunder. Vriska's Lucis holds the troll boy in her forelegs, petty palps tearing through clothing and calicary tearing into grey flesh, feeding a winding intestine into her mouth. You feel like you're gonna yards. You have no idea what you're doing, standing out here alone against a giant monster and this gaggle of mind-controlled thralls. But you gulp down some air and yell stop. Vriska turns to you, and she doesn't look like she's doing a lot better, frankly. She's got a similarly sick expression on her face. But something in her eyes is dead, resigned. Her expression crumples into a scowl. Trolling, arachnid's grip, what the fuck are you doing? She squints her one eye in pain like there's a voice screaming inside her head. Trolling, arachnid's grip, I know, okay. Trolling, arachnid's grip, IKN8W. Trolling, arachnid's grip, I'm dealing with it. She steps up towards you and you see cerulean dice appear one at a time between her fingers. The dice are sparking with cold blue flame. You suddenly feel as though you're going to have a very, very bad time. Trolling, arachnid's grip, first you fall asleep on me like a weenie and I have to fight the last encounter all on my own. Trolling, arachnid's grip, then I carry you 8 ACK to safety even though we just met. Trolling, arachnid's grip, you owe me. Trolling, arachnid's grip, turn around and go 8 ACK. Trolling, arachnid's grip, now. You look up past her, at the giant spider. The awful noise of squelching has stopped. 8 eyes are trained on you, blinking out of order. A spattered palette of multicolored blood is smeared all over her slavering mouth. There's 7 trolls still standing there beside her, mindless, mouths lolling. Next. You don't turn around. You don't go 8 ACK. You stand your ground, unarmed and without a plan. Surely your new friend will see how wrong this is. Vriska looks, hurt for a moment. Betrayed. But the same glare settles back on her face. Trolling, arachnid's grip, you think you're an 8IG hero stopping this dangerous 8ITCH. Trolling, arachnid's grip, happy as a 8I valve mollusk A8OUT your little protagonist moment. Trolling, arachnid's grip, you're 8EING stupid. You don't understand what's happening here. Trolling, arachnid's grip, what I have to do. Trolling, arachnid's grip, you can't fix this. No8ODY can. Trolling, arachnid's grip, so now you're just another little weenie who thinks they're a hero and I'm a villain. Trolling, arachnid's grip, so, sure. I'll play 8ALL. Trolling, arachnid's grip, I'll 8E exactly what you want. She tosses the dice on the ground.
Uh-oh.
The dice glow with a blue flame as they tumble to a stop. An ethereal whip materializes and snaps around your ankles, and you are dragged dizzyingly fast towards the spider's web. The friction of your ass on the rocky cliff face tears the butt off of your flarp costume, exposing your delicate cheeks to chafing. Your greatest asset.
Thought your greatest asset was your legs. Jeez, plot holes.
But things get far worse than that as you are flung directly into the clutches of the horrific arachnid. The fangs of Vriska's lusus pierce your skin and pump you full of a numbing venom that causes everything to fade to black and static numbness. Which is good, because she's beginning to eat you alive. It's also good, because you can't see or hear a little girl stifle a sniffle, holding herself with crossed arms, one mechanical and rocking back and forth, watching another friend consumed by this chaos that never leaves her. Great work, hero. You got bored.
You got bored. Alright. So,
Image GUI/title_.
that is volume 6.
Volume
so
6.
Yeah, I don't know what happened
Fucking cannons. How do they work?
Beginning there, but, you know, who really cares about the Gamzee part, you know?
Close menu.
Garbage character, in my opinion. I never really liked him, is what I'm kind of trying to get at there. But anyway, so that is where we are with that. Another 2 weeks in volume 7. I am guessing it is going to be Nepeta and Equius, but we'll have to wait and see. So, till next time, later.